Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Mondays Beyond the Mic. It's Monday evening, and this is the space where we go beyond surface level topics in relationships. We dive into more personal relationship topics in the hopes that you will get help or seek help, whatever that looks like to you. And as a disclaimer, we talk from our personal relationships. And our number one rule here on HG on Mondays Beyond the Mic is respect, respect, respect. Everyone's opinion will be respected. Sadly, we have to say that if people's opinions are not respected, you will be removed from the platform or from the chat. So, anyway, co host, how are you doing this evening before we continue?
I am doing well, and I like to say good evening. And we ask those that are watching if you can like, share, and subscribe.
Okay, so how was your weekend?
It was actually good. It was nice. It was quiet. I had the opportunity to read. So it was a good weekend. All was well.
That's good.
And
And
yours?
we have some faithfuls. It was interesting. I went to go see my movie Gladiator. I enjoyed it. I love those kind of movies. And I went out to eat on Saturday. So it was a very good weekend because
Oh,
friend. Friend loves the if you know anything about your sister loves to eat. So that just put the icing on the cake for me. So we have some faithful. So before we continue, let's greet our guests.
Terrence said, good evening, ladies. Good evening, Terrence.
Hey T.
Mama Rose said, good evening, ladies. Have an awesome show. Thank you and happy
Thank
birthday or
you.
happy birthday.
Day.
Trudy said, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Trudy.
Good evening. And we must say hello to Ine, who is always behind the
Yeah.
scenes working it out for us. Hey, Ine, putting
ANA,
up
the best
comments and
moderator.
yes, and helping us stay out of trouble and all that good stuff. So without Ine, we would really be in trouble. I don't even know if we would still be on, but that's a different story. So thank you, Ine, for always helping and serving. So, do you want to get into tonight's topic?
Yes, yes, and yes. So tonight's topic, we're going to talk about man code. Tonight, we are exploring the realities of modern life and relationships. We are tackling some important and often misunderstood topics: male singleness, male celibacy, and men dating plus size women. These are issues that come with a lot of stereotypes and misconceptions. So let's break them down. So tonight we're going
Yes.
to have that talk.
We're going to have that talk. And as usual, we love for the men to chime in. So we have some clips here to help us out as we usually do. But again, we are not men. So we really need for you all to chime in and let us know if we're on the right path or what they're talking about in the clips is a thumbs down, thumbs up, whatever that looks like. We need some men to interact with us because we don't want y'all to say they always bashing men and they talking about men. That is not the case. This is the space where we try to create a balance where men get to understand women and women get to understand men. So again, man code. The traditional man code taught men to be strong, unemotional, and independent. It was all about being the provider, hiding your feelings, and toughen it out. But those rules don't leave much room for vulnerability, mental health, and authentic relationships. Today's modern man is evolving. The modern man is breaking free from old molds. He's learning that strength can mean expressing emotions, asking for help, and building genuine connections. So we are going to start there, and my co-host is going to take it away.
Oh, okay. So tonight we're going to start with male singleness. The definition is being single denotes not being in a romantic relationship or marriage. So, according to the Pew Research Center, there is an increasing singleness as of 2021. 25% of 40-year-old men in the US have never been married, a rise from 20% in 2010. Also, there is a gender disparity um, in dating interests among single-aged 40 and older. 42% of men are not seeking relationship. I'll say that again. 42% of men are not seeking relationships or dates compared to 71% of women.
That's a problem
So,
within itself.
Seb, why do you think more men are opting to stay single?
And that question is for me, but also in the chat, y'all do what y'all do best, chime in. I would say some reasons can be personal growth, taking the time to focus on their personal growth, whether that's business, whether that looks like to them. Dating challenges, such as we always talk about, and it always seems to come up, dating apps and social media. So with so much access right now, it's like, hey, I'm in a candy store. But I do believe a big one is that I think the dynamics of the gender roles from traditional roles has taken a shift in terms of men and women. So those are some of the reasons I think can be, some reasons. So, oh shucks, this one said, and then we're gonna play a clip and then y'all can chime in.
Terrence said, "Uh-oh, uh, this is gonna be good."
So y'all get your pens and pads together. So we're gonna play the clip and let us know what you think.
A man, how you handle your season of being single has a great amount of influence over how you handle your season of being in a relationship. Because what most men do, not all, but most, in our single stage is we exercise our freedom, not understanding that whatever we give ourselves to, we also build an appetite for, that we'll have to satisfy whether we stay single or get into another relationship. So when you were single, you were knocking off a bunch of friends, been there before myself, but now you want to take one person serious, and it's difficult because not only do you have to deal with the flashbacks you're going to have, and you will have them, you also might have to deal with them wanting to relive those experiences too. Like, what do you do when you're sitting next to the girl you want to be with and you get that text? That text comes through like, let's run it back. Like, it gets tricky. That's a real slippery slope. So, man, we have to treat our single stage delicately because so much rides on it. Habits, your success, your work ethic, your focus, all of it. It's about the long game. And you can't live in the moment, and you can't be so submerged in the moment of you being single and you being free that you jeopardize your future.
Okay, men, what are your thoughts on that? And I also dropped a question in the chat, and the question says, if you are a single man, what's been your experience in today's dating world? So, what do you think about that? Some of the things he said, co host.
I do agree. I think when he talked about the options, I think going to, let's just even go to the rate of 40% men and 71% women wanting to be married, while you have another percentage. So you have more women, and I'm gonna use this, trying more things to capture the attention of a man. So
Mm-hmm.
they have these options out there where, and then maybe there is also the lack of standards, right? So if I'm willing to live with you, if I'm willing to do all of these other things without a commitment, then why do I need to marry you?
Yeah, it's like I said, a kid at a candy store. But I like the part where he's talking about actually taking your singleness important and not just spreading yourself everywhere. I want the men to chime in on that whole flashback where he went to the part where he said, now you finally got that one, but then you get hit up with that text. And he said it's a slippery slope. So we need some men to comment on that because I want to know how do you navigate that? What does that look like? when you finally settle down with the one, you don't want to be single anymore. You get that one, but the phone line is still open. So while y'all are out there thinking about that, this is a real good male celibacy, a rising trend. Now, men, I don't know what y'all thinking about this, but it is a trend because I did see a interview with 50 Cent where he said, I forgot how long he said he went, but yeah. So let's get into it. Definition of celibacy involves abstaining from sexual activity, often for religious, personal, or health reason. It can be temporary or lifelong. Celibacy isn't just a religious choice, it's becoming a conscious lifestyle decision for many men. According to Psychology Today, between 2000 and 2002 and 2016 to 2018, men aged 35 to 44 maintain a consistent rate of celibacy, but those reporting weekly sexual activities decreased from 61% to 50%. Hold on. Oh, see, this what where did he okay, I guess he gonna come back. Because we had our brave T was getting up here to, help the sisters out. So my question is, in your opinion, why do you think men are opting for celibacy? And that's to my co-hosts and you all in the chat. What are your thoughts on that?
I guess I'm going between the thought of celibacy versus abstinence. Where in celibacy we're talking about it could be for religious purposes, where some people just may be absent and is not for religious purposes. I think you could have men that are just focusing on that. I don't want to give, as much as, well, I actually have two thoughts, but as much as we can say, there's some men out there just doing whatever. There's also some men who are like, I'm not doing whatever and I'm not spreading myself thin. And I think as you look at the older men, um, I'm talking the 40 years and up, I think you could have maybe
The
it's the
women better
death
than the fucking
spouse
men.
or
Yeah, you know what I'm
um,
saying?
or their significant other where they're choosing to be selective, or it could be a medical issue.
You're absolutely right. Hold on, I'm just getting, we gotta stay in line. So again, I think, and very good points, and I like that you pointed out that there are also men, older, not willing to just spread themselves thin or just be all over the place. But let's see, and again, we know this is for fair use only, educational purposes. This is why we use clips to give a little backdrop. And Sir T, are you ready to chime in before we move
I'm
further?
trying to give me a second. I'm trying to get my headphones worked out.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think with that, and I think some of the reasons could be mental and emotional health, right? Just taking that time out for themselves, or even healing from past relationships. I think that because us as women, we also, take breaks after relationships. And look at this one here.
Or at least we should. Somebody said men talk a lot about the body count, so they just tired. That's what you're saying.
I tell you, I just don't know what to do at this point with that one there. So while T is getting ready, what we're going to do again, for educational purposes only, we are going to show our next clip pertaining to celibacy.
Through your psyche right now of like celibacy?
My mindset is still I believe in the power of it. I believe that more people should embrace it at least for a season in their life, okay? But you have to go into it with intention. This is a tool to be used to remove distractions, to get back in tune with yourself, to get closer to God. Because if you don't go into it intentionally, that's where I think people end up feeling like this sucked, this was a waste of time, because you didn't go into it using it the way it should be used. So to me, it's still very powerful, very useful, something I still encourage. However, again, to be honest, it's a struggle for me as a man where I'm at. Even in the context of when people compare their celibacy, like, well, I've been celibate for X amount of years. And in my head, I'm like, your celibacy ain't mine.
Yeah.
You can't even compare it to what I have to go through. All right. Like, it's almost like I use the analogy. It's like someone saying, I'm giving up chocolate, but you live 50 miles from the chocolate store. You can barely afford some chocolate, and there ain't no chocolate in your house. All right. It's going to be easier for you to go on this journey. I live right next to the chocolate store. I damn near live in it.
And the chocolate store comes over a lot to ask for
Exactly.
sugar.
Yes. All right. It's a lot. It's a different ball game. So it's a difficult thing to navigate through, but it's never something that I'm gonna say, oh, to hell with it.
So that was that. Now before, okay, they're talking to us, so let's see what's going on before we move on.
So Beyond Ordinary Lifestyle says, first off, I don't know the age of the guy in the video because it's not hard for a seasoned man to focus on one woman. Why? Because we don't feel like being caught up in the BS anymore.
I understand that beyond ordinary life. I totally hear that. And again, seasoned men. And I'm not sure how old he was either, but again, we're just using it for informational, educational purposes only. So thank you for chiming in and keep your comments coming.
Pastor Rosa said, I think it is a variety of things, but we also have to consider the times we live in, when preferences of mates is a real issue, but also some just don't want to lose their freedom.
Good point. Good point. Let's see if our guest is ready. Are you ready, guest?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, jump on in here. So we are
Okay,
talking about singleness and celibacy. Where you want to get in at? Get in where you
okay,
fit in.
okay. I didn't hear everything the guy was saying because I was dealing with my headphones and everything. But thought about seasoned men being able to focus on one woman, and that's very
Mhm.
true. That's very true. A seasoned man can focus on one woman, the right woman though. It has to be the
That's
right
the
one.
key.
It can't just be one woman. It got to be the right one woman. And we can buckle down and be monogamous. I know I can.
Mhm.
But if it's not the right woman, I don't know. It's kind of
Just
tough.
not happening.
It's kind of tough
It's just
when you
not
get that.
happening.
It's kind of tough when the phone calls start coming through, finally coming through. You've
So,
been trying to rock with somebody that was 3 months ago, and finally she's ready to go on a date with you. It's kind of tough if homegirl ain't the one.
so would you say, Terrence, that there's the difference between Miss Right now and Miss Right or Mrs. Right?
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
Definitely. There's a
okay.
big difference. Just like there's a big
That's
difference
a good.
between Mr. Right now and Mr. Right.
Now you can say that again.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding.
You know, there's a big difference. Miss Right now,
So,
she might look good, you know, she might be doing some of the things I like for her to do for me, but she might not be the end all be all. She might not have everything that I need.
And that is such a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because I've often heard women say no, because I could do this and I can do that. And for someone we think as long as we're doing X, Y, and Z, I can remember growing up. What she got that I ain't got? She don't look better than me. She don't think, she's this, she's that, she's this, she's that. But she was the right one for him. So you could
Exactly.
be doing all the things you said, but dude is like, yeah, but I'm still looking.
I'm still looking. I'm still on the dating sites.
Right.
You know them dating sites, boy. Woo! Them
Yeah,
dating
we
sites.
talked about those.
Oh my goodness.
oh, bravo
You
with
date, you
you.
date, dating sites is the devil. I ain't gonna lie to you.
They the devil. The
'Cause you can
send
be
it back to
sitting
the
there,
gates of hell.
sitting there bored, sitting at work or wherever you going on the plane or whatever, and you go across that app, it's on and popping.
You just need a book. You need a couple of good books, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
I, I hear you, Coco. It is what it is.
This
You
is
So,
it.
know,
Bravo with Sheila said, if you practice celibacy, what motivates what motivated your choice?
Yeah, that's the question we have for the
Oh,
audience.
mhm.
If you
ooh,
practice celibacy, what
practice that.
motivated your choice? And okay, so beyond ordinary lifestyle is agreeing, and he's cracking up.
Celibacy. Wow.
Well, have you ever? I guess not, because the way you said "wow" was like a whole foreign word that you never heard of before, that you never want to hear again.
Celibacy. Whew.
Yeah, that's deep for you.
Um, Not deep for me, but I've done it before. I've celebrated. I've practiced celibacy before.
So what happens if you find the one
Uh huh.
and she's in that state and saying, "I'm not having premarital sex and I'm celibate." Like, that's it.
Well, that's never happened to me. So,
I gave you a hypothetical. I didn't say that it happened.
hypothetical. I don't know, Coach. I don't know.
You might need to be coached to get through
You
that
know, I'm gonna keep it real
situation.
with y'all. I don't know, man.
But I
She got,
think
she got, she got to really be the right one. Like everything else got to be on point. Everything else got to be. God got to say, listen, man, this is her. You need to cool out. And
but
Okay.
God hasn't spoken to me like that yet.
I if I could just chime in, I think a part of it is if we go back when you're practicing, for someone who's practicing celibacy, they're making a usual for the most part. I'm tongue twisted tonight. For the most part, they're making a maybe a religious choice. So they're going in
Okay.
that these are the reasons why. And that's why I brought up abstinence versus celibacy. Because someone could just say, I'm abstaining for this for 6 months. I'm abstaining for this for 2 months. Where if someone's saying, I'm committing myself to being celibate, their reasoning is different.
Mm.
And that's a good point. So we have some new. Oh, hey, look who's here. So our faithful is late. She said, "What's happened?" She late to the party. So let's catch our faithfuls up on what's going on tonight. We are talking about man code. We are exploring the realities of modern life and relationships. We are tackling some important and often misunderstood topics: male singleness, male celibacy, and men dating plus size women. These are issues that come with a lot of stereotypes and misconceptions. We have talked about men in singleness, and you can jump on in right now. We're talking about male in celibacy, and T is like, he don't know. He don't know about that. And my co-host had to break, just gave him some options with the two. So with the two, what do you think about that? Abstinence versus celibacy. Can you hang in there or no?
I think I could. I think I could practice abstinence. I could. I could do it. I could do it, but it depends on how long. Like if you're talking like 2 years, ooh, wow. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know.
And we have our famous Vaughn Eric.
Okay, Vaughn, where you
Vaughn
been, man?
Eric. Look, you sound like your brother
I'm
needs some
telling
help.
you.
You need help.
So being that they're coming in and they're just coming in, we are talking about male celibacy, male singleness, and men dating plus size women. We have showed two clips. So what I'm going to do right now, what we're going to do is run the two clips back to catch y'all up to speed before we move on to males dating plus size women. So here is the first. Well, that just say
So
TikTok.
as a
Okay.
man, how you handle your season of being single has a great amount of influence over how you handle your season of being in a relationship. Because what most men do, not all, but most, in our single stage is we exercise our freedom, not understanding that whatever we give ourselves to, we also build an appetite for. that we'll have to satisfy whether we stay single or get into another relationship. So when you were single, you were knocking off a bunch of friends, been there before myself, but now you want to take one person serious, and it's difficult because not only do you have to deal with the flashbacks you're going to have, and you will have them, you also might have to deal with them wanting to relive those experiences too. Like, what do you do when you're sitting next to the girl you want to be with and you get that text? That text comes through like, let's run it back. You know, like, it gets tricky. That's a real slippery slope. So, man, we have to treat our single stage delicately because so much rides on it. Habits, your success, your work ethic, your focus, all of it. It's about the long game. And you can't live in the moment, and you can't be so submerged in the moment of you being single and you being free that you jeopardize your future.
So that was the clip on singleness. So our faithfuls that just came in, that's what we're talking about. And if take your pen and your pad and write some stuff down. Now we are going to jump into male celibacy. This is where Vaughn T might need your help because he's a little stuck and he don't know about it.
Me through your psyche right now of like celibacy.
My mindset is still, I believe in the power of it. I believe that more people should embrace it at least for a season in their life. Okay. But you have to go into it with intention. This is a tool to be used to remove distractions, to get back in tune with yourself, to get closer to God. Because if you don't go into it intentionally, that's where I think people end up feeling like this sucked, this was a waste of time, because you didn't go into it using it the way it should be used. So to me, it's still very powerful, very useful, something I still encourage. However, again, to be honest, it's a struggle for me as a man where I'm at. Even in the context of when people compare their celibacy, like, well, I've been celibate for X amount of years. And in my head, I'm like, your celibacy ain't mine.
Yeah.
You can't even compare it to what I have to go through. All right. Like, it's almost like I use the analogy. It's like someone saying, I'm giving up chocolate, but you live 50 miles from the chocolate store. You can barely afford some chocolate, and there ain't no chocolate in your house. All right. It's going to be easier for you to go on this journey. I live right next to the chocolate store. I damn near live in it.
And the chocolate store comes over a lot to ask for
Exactly.
sugar.
Yes. All right. It's a lot. It's a different ball game. So it's a difficult thing to navigate through, but it's never something that I'm gonna say, oh, to hell with it.
And those are the two topics. So we did have someone chime in on the first one with singleness. But I just want to say something. I like him. I really like Stefan, but I be hating on his edges because I be over here fighting for some. And his just be laid and growing and growing. And I'm like, bruh, can the sister get something? I digress, y'all. I went there. Just
Oh,
I'm back.
hey, I finally heard the whole video this time, and I got a better understanding of what he was saying. And yes, you do have to fall back sometime. 2, 3 months, 4 months. Yeah, you do have to fall back sometime and get your mind right and work on yourself. Now that's easy. Now when you
Okay.
start talking years, that's a little different.
Once you pass the 5, 6 months, then it's a little
That's
shaky.
yeah, especially when I live in Atlanta. This what the chocolate factory is. I live in the chocolate factory. The chocolate factory is on my phone. It get a little rough. Sometimes you gotta, it get a little rough. Sometimes say, hey, my kids are over here. I use that a lot.
Well, you
No,
just
my
told
kids.
on yourself. But just
I mean, hopefully none of them are listening. But nah, my kids are here. Oh, my mom was here visiting. Oh,
okay,
I
so
gotta
let's go
work.
to the covers. Well,
Huh?
apparently you got it all together. You got to work. The kids is here. My mom is here. I'm doing the double. I'm doing overtime. I'm out of town. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, yeah.
Aaron says,
I live in a studio. I live in a studio loft. I got one bedroom, and it is what it is. So if my kids are over, I'm not going to be able to see you today. Sorry, and I could be home watching TV by myself. I learned that
Okay.
from the ladies though, but then that's another story.
Okay.
okay. So
Commercial
Aaron,
break.
yeah, Aaron said, totally agree. If a man run around when being single it's difficult to be committed to one partner for the rest of his life.
Yeah, because you got too much running around up here. Like he said, he said you're gonna have the flashback.
And still standing says, I agree. My celibacy is not someone else's. I've been, I have been celibate for 10 years and it truly has not been a struggle because my mental is on a different level and what was once important is no longer. So it's being celibate with a purpose. I think that's the main thing.
Hmm.
If you know why you're doing it. I think what happens is people go into abstinence, right? Like, oh, if I want to get him to marry me, I'm going to withhold. So you're
Wrong
not
reason.
doing it with the right purpose and it's not for you. You're doing it to hurt him. But if you're
It's
going
manipulation.
right as a form, right, totally a form of manipulation. But if I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, if a woman is
Hmm.
doing that, that's manipulation. I think the other side, if a woman goes in and she's saying I'm celibate, it's about her, it's not about the other person.
Hmm. We have another comment.
Beyond ordinary says, I'm single because I have a purpose, on a mission, and matching up with a woman who can complement that is a challenge. A lot of women don't want to build with a man anymore. Not all women.
And that's true. See, I like how he comments because he doesn't generalize. He makes his point and he makes it clear. We don't have to say, don't make a blanket statement. So I get it. I totally get it.
Um, Haley is that she says realistically, even if you find the one, relationships go through seasons. Each season will bring out different facets of your person. In my opinion, there will always be a challenge in relationships. I mean, definitely, but it may not be
Absolutely.
your abstinence. And again, in my opinion, you're gonna, because you're growing, you're two people, I like to say it's two kingdoms trying to come together in a relationship. You know, I like mayo, you know, I like Hellman's, you like Miracle Whip. We got to figure out what does that look like in the relationship. So I think, but when you're looking at, if the topic of celibacy, that is a choice, and I think your partner has to respect your choice and not think, oh, I'm gonna lay low, I can weigh him out or her out, and then they're gonna crack eventually. So I think somebody respecting who you are as an individual and what you bring to
Hmm.
the table besides sex.
And really wants what's best for you and will respect your ideas and where you're at on your journey in life. It's like, okay, I love, and it's more to it than just that. We have another comment.
Stephanie says some are just abstinent during the dating phase, not necessarily because they are playing games, but because they want to see where the potential of the relationship is going.
And that's a good point. And getting to the point that he made from a male's perspective, you don't want to spread yourself all around. So I do think even in the dating stage, you should abstain from sexual contact because we know that takes the relationship to another level. That
Facts.
opens up a whole nother emotional can of, I don't even know what to call it. And especially if you're dating someone that's unstable. That can, oh, where's Vaughn? That can totally go in a different direction. Somebody could be sitting on your bed when you come home from work, right, Vaughn? So I'm just saying, just I'm just saying it just came back to me. I caught a, I'm sorry, Vaughn. It was open, it was right there. So okay. We're gonna move on. I think this is a very interesting one. Let's go to the next.
The next one is dating plus size women. So the definition, this refers to a romantic relationship involving women who are classified as overweight or obese based on the body mass index, the BMI standards. So let's break this down. The stereotype around men dating plus size women. Society often promotes unrealistic beauty standards, but love the attraction are far more diverse than the media portrays. According to a study published by the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, many men report that they find confidence, personality, and emotional connection more attractive than body size. So the question is, why do you think that there's still a stigma around dating plus size women?
My opinion on that before the men jump in, I think is really just because of what society thinks, and they don't want to be seen with. Because I've known growing up is some that will date plus size women, and plus size women are beautiful, but they'll date
Absolutely.
them behind the scenes, but won't be in public with them. So I
Wow.
I think that's it.
Wow.
T, what's your thoughts?
Plus size women. I like plus size women. As long as they get
So
put together, if they look good, if a sister look good, and well, I'm from Harlem. I like the hand nails and the nice outfit and all that. And if you look good,
gotta
you
be
put it
put
together, and
together.
you look good. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay.
But not to where, not if you're plus size and you're like unhealthy plus size. That
Okay.
I'm
To
not
where it's a
attracted to
health
that.
issue.
I'm not attracted to that. Now, if you're plus size and you're trying to show everything out in the street, then you look crazy. I'm not with that either. But if you're a classy sister and
Okay.
you look good, then it's only popping. But I will say this though, I'm gonna be honest. Older I get, the more I like them plus size and small. Before I used to only like the plus size sisters. But
So you
I'm
opened up the chocolate factory.
yeah, I opened up the chocolate factory.
Okay. Okay.
I always been
I
a fan.
see
I
it.
always been a fan of pretty faces and style. That always been my thing. But
Okay.
again, like I
So
said,
that
if you're plus size and you trying to show everything out in the street and you look crazy, nah, I can't do it. Mm-mm.
that's a
That
little
that ain't
bit
gonna
too
work.
much.
That ain't gonna work for me. Nah, that ain't gonna work
Okay.
for me.
So the clips we've been showing is again for educational purposes only. I'm going to show y'all something and get your pens and your pads and take notes and so you can ask some questions.
Why men play with heavier women, and how come we don't deserve the same respect as smaller women?
Some men are afraid to deviate from what's expected of us. And the truth of the matter is that for what is still a very Eurocentric beauty standard, you are not the ideal model. And some men are afraid to deviate from that model and be seen doing that, right? That's the truth. Because it's not just big women, you know what I'm saying? Some men like dark women, like really, really do like dark skinned women, but unfortunately, we just start pushing that for real the last 3-4 years, you know what I'm saying? So some men are afraid to go after what they want. Some dudes really are okay with like a woman who may not have this or have that so long as she fine, but he afraid because his parents think he need to have. So what I'm saying with you're going to come across men who are attracted to you, but they're not brave enough to do so out loud. And I'm not saying that makes it okay. I'm not saying that you should find peace in that. I'm saying that we have to really get to the truth of the matter, sweetheart. And sometimes that is ugly. You feel me? What you should know is that because you have to work against that, that the man that's sure about you is going to stick out that much more. I'm not trying to paint some false hope like you might not come across more fearful before you get there. I'm just saying that contrast is going to make that man stick out. That man that is dating a big woman on purpose. You feel me? The man that's pursuing you on purpose because he's attracted to big women in real life. You feel me? So I'm again, unfortunately for people who are outside that model,
outside that very narrow box, and it's a lot of women. Rest assured that most women realistically don't fit inside that box that women are expected to fit in. Every woman with stretch marks, every woman who hang a little bit here, who got a mold hair, who might grow hair here, has to contend with this idea of what we think women's supposed to be. You feel me? So it's just that again, I want to be frank about where this come from.
What's your thoughts on that?
What, T or myself?
Yourself, T? Anyone?
Oh,
Well, T, co-host, go ahead, co-host. What you think?
well, I think it's a real thing. I think to his point, there's this, or there was this standard that was pushed upon people to say, if she looks like this is what is acceptable. I think, to his point, whether it was size or colorism, or there's been this trend for years that this is what it looks like, or this is the type of woman you should be with, not necessarily if it's what you like, but what the culture has put, or society has put out there.
T?
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean, a lot of people can be attracted to somebody, but be ashamed of what that person may look like. So they rather date them behind closed doors. And I've never been like that. I like who I like, and it don't
But
matter
even
what
within
nobody
that,
thinks.
how much? I'm sorry, I thought you was done. I'm sorry. Because even within that, how much do you really care for me that you can't be seen with me in public? So I'm cool behind doors, but you're ashamed of me. How does that
Yeah,
even work in the man's mind?
I mean, he can't care too much for you if he don't want to be seen with you in public. You know what I mean? That's not real love. That's conditional love.
Inconvenience.
Yes, yes.
Corey said, "Good evening, ladies. Just getting on, just coming from the gym." Hello,
Well, thanks
Corey.
for jumping on. Hey, Corey. Yeah, I think that's just kind of like, off, little off kilter, but here's another one. Let's see what this man has to say.
Do I date plus size women? I've been dating plus size women before it became cool to do so. I have friends, I remember I had friends in elementary school that used to always make fun of me when I dated bigger girls. But now these same friends be like, yo, what's up with the big girls? Hook me up with the big, I like the big girls plus size. They girl fat, they mother fat, they cousin fat. Everybody around them is fat. So it's funny to me. But yeah, I've been on this plus size tip. I've been dating plus size before they started calling y'all BBWs. So I'm a true BBW fan, and I date all BBWs, black, white, Chinese. I'm an equal opportunity dater, and that's about it. I'm for y'all. I'm an advocate.
And I think it's so sad because even to the point you made, co-host, and what he said in the other clip, the trend that
Mm-hmm.
you would pursue somebody or actually intertwine somebody and get their feelings all caught up just for a trend and you're not really into them. So I think that's like selfish. But oh, hold on.
Stephanie says, societal standards for sure, just like with models. Why all models are size 2, and why do models have to be tall? Societal expectations. And I think it goes exactly, I think it goes back to what the gentleman said in the previous clip, the Eurocentric. That's what was passed down to say this is the standard of. So what happened, if we're going to really like go down this rabbit hole, is to say, from a for people of color, then it became the colorism, where you pinned up like, okay, well, if you were it was this whole thing with Fisk University, you could not get into the college if you were darker than a brown paper bag. So the whole
Mm-hmm.
brown paper bag test. So because it was, if you look as close as or to the Eurocentric look, then that was considered approved, opposed to saying no, all black is beautiful. Um, and what do you like is not a matter of what society says, because I think to someone said it earlier, what we end up doing is really hurting ourselves and hurting the person that you're with, that you really don't want to be with, but by society, that is the person you should
Mm-hmm.
be with. When you may be in love with the plus size woman or the darker skinned woman or whatever the difference is, the shorter woman, because we can go through all the difference. Some people like tall women, some people like short women, some people, whatever that looks like.
But I think even within that, you're doing is a disservice to yourself and what you really like, because you're not happy. You're not as happy as you could be because of what society says, and that standard that you're living up to, knowing in your heart of hearts, no, I really want to date a dark skinned woman. No, I really want to date a plus size girl, but you won't do it because of what society says, and you allowing society to hold you hostage, opposed to being truly happy. So, T, you have anything before we go to the comments?
Um, nah, nah. I'm just sitting here enjoying this. But I
Okay.
will say this though.
So,
I will say this. It
mhm,
depends on what you see, what you think is plus size, also. Because what I
that's
may think
true.
is plus size, another man might say, "Oh, she just thick."
Mm-hmm.
You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
Different versions. Good
There's
point.
different versions. You know.
So Corey said, listen, nobody wants a monkey, ain't ain't nothing wrong with a bigger woman. I don't mind size, just don't be sloppy, like you don't care about yourself. Being seen in public only if we agree to be low. But I think, I mean, to this point, and I use the word, I'm going to use Corey's word, there's some non plus size women who can be sloppy. So I
Hello.
think, I think it's just a matter of women taking care of themselves regardless of size.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out what he's saying, being seen in public only if we agree to be low.
Right. He's saying the only way, I believe he's saying the only way, he wouldn't not be in public with her is if they agreed that they will have it, their relationship was low key, I think.
Okay. 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 Oh, hold on. Oh, see, and this is why.
Beyond Ordinary says, I kind of disagree. I know a lot of men who date slim chicks but marry big women because big women was stereotyped as caretakers when slim women was labeled as more difficult.
That's true. And I have a special guest on here because she is beautiful. This is our lady Darby. Her picture is not up. I think she is driving. She is on Thursday nights on the. Listen, there go that big beautiful. Look at that, and she will let the people know. Tell the people what's going on. Unmute yourself.
Hey everybody, how are y'all doing tonight? My HG fam and all of them in the gram. How's everybody?
Thank you. How are you? We
Good.
thank you for jumping on because we are actually to the part where we're talking about you, as you call them, fluffy. What
Right, the Fluffy
what we say?
Nation.
The fluffy
The-
nation. And what we're saying is, how can you say you love me, just part of it, and you want to keep me inside? When we're
mm,
saying fluffy women, plus size women are beautiful. In the clip that we
absolutely.
show, he said it could be anything. Go ahead.
Every day, all day, and twice on the weekends. That's right. I tell everybody, okay, there is no shame in your game. You have to be so secure with you and who you are. Do not let anyone diminish your value to two numbers, one number that's on a label. I don't care how you fill out your genes. Please know that you are awesome in your own right. You are valuable. You are worthy. And if a man wants to hide you because of your extra fluff, that has nothing to do with you, everything to do with them and their insecurities. If you can't stand 10 toes down and love me for who I am today, then you can't love me at all. I'll tell anybody, I am a solid size 24, 26 on a bad day when it happens, but it is what it is. But trust and believe every day, from head to toe, this body is dressed to its absolute best. This attitude is
Oh
on
yes, she does it.
1,000. Okay, don't play with it. Don't play with it. Fluffy women, listen, dress yourself up. Make them wanna though. Make them want to know what it's like. Cause once you turn over to the fluffy side, you never go back. There's a lot of stuff that comes over here. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And salute to all my women. Salute to all my women. I don't care what size you are, honestly. If you don't love yourself first, no one else is going to. You cannot leave the power to define your beauty in someone else's opinion, someone else's perspective. Listen, whatever you love for you, I like it. But please know I love me first. I will say, when it comes to the clip, because I've watched it and it was slightly triggering to me for a time. And I will say this: my sister is tall and she's slim. She's like 5'9", 5'10", about a size 12, 10 maybe, and just got there. You know what I'm saying? She's always been that. And I've always been the shorter, thicker one. But I came to realize at a certain point in life that thin women are just as single. Thin women get cheated on just the same. Thin women still struggle to find mate. So I had to dispel the myth that it's about my body size. No one is meant for everyone. Every size 6 is not meant for everyone. But the thing is, I'm not looking for everyone. I just want the one that can handle me, not just externally, but internally. So never mind, the crowd. I think respect is respect, period. Matter of fact, I know that if a man only respects you for your size, again, then he does not respect you at all. Because what happens if you get sick? What happens if he goes blind and can no longer see you for the beauty, the external? Then what do you have? So we really have to start looking at content. Now, I'm not saying ladies don't work it out and manage what you have, but please, Fluffy Nation, dress it up
Come
every
on.
day, okay? Put your chin all the way up. Walk into every room like you belong there, because you do. And don't let nobody tell you that you are not all of that and then some. I'm just saying. I'm gonna yield my mic right there.
Just drop the mic, cause how you do the bombs? We need a machine where the bombs just go off, cause she just came on and dropped it. That's why I had to have her up here, because and there's another thing I heard, regardless of your size or whatever, confidence goes first. Once they
My God.
size y'all, men be like, oh, she confident, she a size 16, she a size, but look who just walked in the room. And to your point, regardless of the size, because sometimes when I'm in the store, I'm like, who wears a 2? Who is size 6? Like, who created y'all? So to me, in that instance, I'm the big girl, because I
Right.
never wore a size 2. And I
The,
think the last time I wore a size 5, I was probably in elementary
Uh,
school.
the
Yeah,
last time I was a size 2, I was 2. Y'all know I
so
keep it real. I'm just
does it. Okay, so we're gonna keep it real. Hey Lee, Lee is up. We're gonna go to commercial break, and then which is our comments, and then we're gonna let Lee jump on in here. So she gotta be laughing at Lady Dawn B.
Levon is laughing. Vaughn said, "Oh snap!" Laughter. I heard that,
you better have on.
and still standing says, "Period, partner."
Right.
And Levon says, "Facts." Corey says, "My ex-wife was a size 16."
And listen, I told y'all she has the name for it, Fluffy Nation. Fluffy Nation is on Thursday nights with Lady Dawn B on the
Right.
Bravo with Sheila Network. So yeah, she gives it up over there on Thursday nights. Lee, what do you have to say?
So
Okay,
I
wait,
just get
hold on. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
there.
Corey says, I love her attitude. To be clear, I don't discriminate. I date women from 4'9" to 6'3". I dated skinny minis to BBWs. I don't care. It's all about how you carry yourself all around.
That part. Okay, Lee, go.
Hey
What you
everybody.
got?
Hey Lady Dawn V.
Hey,
I like
Lee.
that. Fluffy Nation. Yes. So I'm gonna just go right into it. I am the daughter of the most beautiful, bountiful woman I've ever saw in my life. My mother was never a little lady. She birthed a very little lady, me. I'm 5'2", 3. My mother was 5'9", and just would always say to us, I just never forget growing up, she had two husbands. She was married once before my dad for 13 years, and then she was married to my dad and with my dad for 57 years. And she would always say to my dad, don't get it twisted, baby. You walk out here today, somebody else be right up in here tomorrow. She had the confidence. My dad loved her to the core, so much so that he had to go be with her. But I'm gonna just share something real funny, ladies on B, that I thought you would really appreciate. When my daughter was in private school for years, they would come to my daughter's basketball games. So one time after the basketball game, we go to the restaurant, and my mother pulls out a $50 bill, right? And we were like, "Hey, where you get this money from?" She's like, "Mr. Vinny gave me $50." Mr. Vinny was the maintenance man at my daughter's school, and so we said, "Huh?" She said, "He said I was beautiful." She said, "But I'm with your dad, so I'm gonna give him the money. Like how the pimps get the money. I'm gonna give him the money." My mother never lacked confidence, and she had four daughters, and two were beautiful and bountiful, and two were little skinny minis. And she would always say, "It is not your size or your stature, like you said, Elaine. It's who you are. You can command a space by who you are." And a lot of people think that when you're smaller, you don't get offended. I used to have a coworker that would always call me skinny mini. And one day I said to her, that offends me because I was raised by a very beautiful woman that was not skinny, that was not petite, that I thought was the most beautiful woman in the world. And I struggled with being skinny. So I think that in this world, it's about, to me, a true man is going to measure you by more than just what's on the outside. It's going to be the whole package. The whole
Let's
package
hear from
should be
some
put
men.
together.
Yep. T, what's your thoughts? You the only man on this panel. Your brother Vaughn left you. He in the comments being a comment thug and not on the platform. He always scary, but what you got, T?
No, but I like what she was saying about it's all about the confidence though. Confidence is A1. Ain't
The
nothing like
confidence is
a plus size woman with swag. She
look,
can
look
dress.
that look.
She can dress, keep her hair done, keep her nails done, and when she step in the room, everybody staying at attention. That's the kind of plus size chick I like. Well, that's the kind of woman I like. Period. Because like I told y'all, the older I get, I like them smaller too.
Okay,
But
co-host has something to
yeah,
say.
I think that the main thing, like listening to both sides, right? It's the confidence. It doesn't matter because you could be a 0 or you could be a size, 30, right? If you don't have confidence in who you are, the 0 or the 1 is they're in we're in the same place, you know. If
Right.
you have to figure out how you feel about you, you tell the world how to treat you, and we keep going from society. No, when you walk into a room, what do you exude? Do you exude confidence? Do you walk with your head high, or do you walk with your head bowed? And then people will treat you accordingly. And I think that's the thing. It doesn't, we can hear what society says, but ultimately, how do you feel about you, regardless of what everybody else thinks? Because your opinion, if we're thinking about public opinion, it doesn't pay you. Public
No.
opinion doesn't pay you. But if you're confident in who you are as an individual, regardless of your size, your height, all of those things, you show up in a different way. And I think that's one of the things that we, I don't want to say overlook, but it doesn't, I guess for me, I'm like, that part doesn't matter because I've seen beautiful women who have no confidence, and you're like, oh my God, you're so pretty. And yet they don't see it, and they're used and abused. And you can see someone that you can consider a plus size that's running everything, and you like, yes, get it, girl. And because it's what's on the inside, to Lady Dawn's B point, is not what's on, because you could be dressed up and broken.
Come on.
That's
Ooh.
true. And I think even with that, what just flashed in my head was Biggie, black and ugly as ever. However, Biggie said, I know I'm ugly, but I'm going to say coochie down to the socks, rings and rocks and all of that. But again, the confidence, right? But even for me, and I think women, we can all attest to this. We all have something about ourselves that we like,
Mhm.
but again, confidence, like sucking it up. It is what it is. It's not going anywhere. I don't think any of us into surgery and all that other stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. And let's see what they're saying.
Levon says compatibility. Right. I think when you find the person that's right for you, that's it. And she said that Lady Dawn
You
all
have
day.
to. She is it. She is it.
Listen, let me tell you, if I could just add, I think that one of the key things is I have to say, because I've been on this journey a long time, and I may not like everything about me every day, or rather, put it this way, I may not like everything about me all the time, but I love all of me every day. And you have to get to that point where you love all of you every day. And every day show up being the best version of yourself that you can be, regardless. I don't care how many roles you have, I don't care how many issues you have. Dress it up, put it together, and go out the door. It's definitely about confidence. And we have to stop picking ourselves apart, and we have to stop allowing outside standards to be the canon or the gauge by which we add our value. A lot of men may say, I like to shake it up. I really do. That's my other side. Like to shake it up. Men who may not think that they would ever be interested in a woman who is of a bigger size. But when you carry yourself with, like I said, confidence, when you walk in your excellence, just for today, just do it every day. You will draw people to you based on who you are, because that's what you want them to see, is who you are. Because like Dr. E said, a lot of women are beautifully, but you're broken and empty on the inside. And we all want to be loved. Don't get me wrong. We all want to be appreciated. We all want to be treated as beautiful. But you have to start finding what's sexy about yourself. You have to start finding what's appealing about yourself. You have to find what's interesting about yourself, and then build on that, perfect that. Because when you do, those things build your confidence. I don't care what anybody say to me. I'll be like, bro, you can come up and tell me I'm not your type. Of like, well, you know what? You might not be mine either, but also you may not just have good taste. I don't know. No disrespect, but I'm not for everybody. I don't know what your taste buds are like. I am an acquired taste. And that's how you have to carry yourself. I don't care what size you are. I'm trying to tell you, put it on, dress yourself up, be your best, and show up for yourself. Because when you start doing that, you will attract who's for you. So again, every day, I may not like everything about me all the time, but I love all of me every day. I
I
yield
like
my mic.
And
I
I
like
think
that.
there's nothing else to be said. Yeah. Okay, we're not gonna leave Corey hanging, but
Lord, Corey says, I love when a big, beautiful woman walks in the room and make the room uncomfortable. When you've been with a big woman and she puts it on ya, oh boy, I don't even know what that means. I used to,
yeah, well, I don't know where we are right now, but okay. Okay.
I'm
Oh, all right.
sorry. Okay.
Testify.
Okay, Levon says Lady Dawn is a commander, sis. and I see her confidence all the time. I think others see too. They also could be intimidated by such confidence, but that's a personal problem. Absolutely.
And not even just her confidence, her personality. If y'all don't know her or never interacted with her, y'all don't know what y'all missing. You will laugh and cut up all day, even when you don't want to cut up. We can literally be on the phone, like, all right, get it together. I didn't call you for this, because the conversation goes somewhere else. And the stuff she says out her mouth is like, how did you even? But okay, I'm talking to Lady Dawn B right now. So that's just that. And it is what it is. So, I mean, this has been great. I really enjoyed this. I thank you for. Oh, okay. Lee got something to say.
So just to piggyback on what you were saying, Pache and Lady Dombey, it's you know, for men that choose just on the physical, you're not thinking about what's gonna go up the road. And it just made me, it just jumped into my head. One of my favorite songs, and I'm not a big Music Soul Child fan, was I would, as long as you don't change, I would love you if your hair turns gray. I
Mm-hmm.
would love, because it's your heart. Because you know what? If your preference is just a physical preference and not a whole put together preference, you're not looking at a person for a lifetime. You're looking at a person to just edify you for a season. Because realistically, ain't none of us looking like we looked 30 years ago. Even some of us that have aged gracefully and look wonderful. And, people used to stop my mom up until very before she died, and they wouldn't believe she was 89. I would have to get on some people like, this woman ain't 70, she's 89. Bear with her. But it was your inside. And I remember once she passed on and my dad was the one left, he said, part of also loving her was the way she made him feel. She loved him through sickness, through health, through everything. Because you know what? Her looks wasn't what was going to sustain the relationship. It was her.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put it on, she put it on him all kind of ways. She put it on him all kind of levels.
Okay.
And I think that's
Oh,
the thing. You have to put it on your man all kind of levels. It has to be an emotional level, a physical level, a spiritual level. And it can't just be one facet. And if you're going for just one facet, then you're never going to be satisfied or edified. And you're going to continue to be out there searching, searching, searching. But what does the
very
Bible
good.
say? He who finds a wife finds a what? A
Good
good
thing.
thing.
He
That's
that
all I got
finds.
to say. I'm gonna drop the
Okay,
mic.
well,
She left me
okay.
say.
Okay, drop the mic.
Kathy says just like he knows the song that will get him on the dance floor, he knows the woman that he will bring to the family reunion. Well, well now.
Well, well, well. So this, minus the bed. Oh. He said, minus the beard, I still look the same. When you go on Levon and look the same, minus the beard. So which means if he get rid of the beard, he'll still look the
He'll
same.
still look 30 years like he did 30 years ago.
That's in the beard. The 30 years is in the beard. So once
We
he
gotta
can
see
go
it
back
without the
to
beard to make that decision. We gotta
Right.
see it. We gotta
And we
see
got to
it.
see
And
an old photo.
hey,
right.
coach, you still
So
look the same, coach.
well, flattery will go everywhere. Thank
Coach,
you.
you still look the
Thank you
same,
very much.
coach, from eighth grade.
Thank you. If I could like this,
Not eighth grade.
I said like thanks, T. So we have been talk. This has been a fun show. This and I thank everybody for popping on, but especially ladies on because we had to close it out with you and bring the fluffy nation to life for those that don't know how the fluffy, beautiful, bold girls give it up. So we gonna let you have the last word because you was look, she's all in it. You was dropping some stuff. I'm gonna say something. Lee can say something. T, co-host, and Don B, you can close it out. So again, tonight we have been talking about the man code. We have talked about men in singleness, men in celibacy, which T struggled with for a minute, and then he kind of got into a little like here and there. He struggled with it, but it's been great sharing this topic with you all. Thanks for you all in the chat, putting in your input as always, helping Monday be on the mic, move forward. Remember, there is more in you, and come back next Monday because we will be here. And Lee, you are good to say something.
I just ladies on be just gonna help a little sister out because my mother used to always say to me, I don't know why the hell you single, because if I had just Yeah, she said, I don't know what I did wrong with you, little girl. And I, and I understand that it's the aura. And she always say, because honey, you can't one go in, one come out. I ain't playing. So it's really your confidence. It is definitely that. And the most beautiful woman are the ones with confidence. I don't care if you're 6 foot, 5 foot,
Hmm.
200 pounds, 110 pounds. It really is when you put together and you fly is fly. Like I think T, you from Harlem, right? I'm not from Harlem, I'm from the boogie down, but I've been living in Harlem longer. Fly is fly. If you
No,
swag is
Harlem
swag.
cats, we like boogie down chicks. We like boogie down chicks.
Oh, I know because we right close to y'all.
Well,
Swag is
you got
swag.
two. You
Swag is
got two.
swag.
You got two at the bottom.
Yeah, swag is swag. Thank you guys. Great show tonight.
Thank you, T. Thoughts? Final thoughts?
I want to piggyback off the celibacy thing. Like the brother was saying, it's easier for a seasoned man to practice celibacy. And then he went into the whole chocolate thing and all that. But like I said, I live in a chocolate factory. But the older you get, even men, we ain't trying to give it to everybody. Everybody can't get none. Just
Okay.
like the
A little
women, you
standards.
gotta, huh?
Standards are good.
Yes, standards are amazing. And I ain't gonna lie to you. Any brother that values himself, he ain't just giving up to anybody anyway. Because once you do it, then you think about what's gonna happen after
Good.
the
Good
after
point.
issue.
Co-host.
But we can get into that on
Final.
another show. We can get to that.
I was about to say, I don't know why you
Yeah.
put me behind T with that. um, I would say, and go into this that you are enough, uh, whether you are a plus size woman or not. Exuding your confidence is important, and knowing who you are, and that's having the real talk with you, and deciding what it is you do like about you and what it is you don't like. So I like to use this word affection. I know my flaws, but I'm perfectly fine with them. So
Full affection. And
For
Lady
affection.
Dawn B, I don't know what you about to drop, but drop it on the people and take us out. Fluffy Nation, do what Fluffy Nation does.
Come on, come on, come on. Fluffy Nation is the real thing. Y'all go look for hoodies and whatnot real soon. I'm for real, for real. But I would just say this. Men, let yourself be loved by the woman who is really willing to love you, because a lot of y'all are missing out on women who are really willing to show up and be that woman that's down for you for everything that you are and everything that you're not, but you bypass them because you worried about what your homies will say, and they're usually the ones who are single or in miserable relationships. So stop letting other people block you from exploring other options that may just give you what you need. Ladies, I will say this. I don't care what size you are, dress yourself up daily. When you love you first, you will draw what's for you. Never mind what you don't have. Work with what you have today. Be confident, like Dr. E said. You are enough always, every day, twice on the weekends. You are enough. And again, I'll leave it as this. You may not like and you won't like everything about you all the time, but I encourage you to love yourself every day. When you get in the hands of the right person, if it's a weight issue, they can work with you to either, help you lose, gain, whatever it is. People out here trying to add body parts and do all this other stuff, trying to get what you got, you know,
Oh yeah.
and so don't be afraid or ashamed of who you are each day. Walk in your confidence, tilt your head up, and keep it pushing. Love yourself every day. I yield my mic.
And that is it. And we are out and we will see y'all next Monday. 7 p.m. on Mondays Beyond the Night. Mike, don't forget Thursday nights right across the street. Lady Dawn B is on at 7 p.m. And we are out.